Hello there. This video is going to explain how you can put equations into Word documents. Communication is really important to engineers, and one of the ways that we communicate is through maths. You're going to be writing a lot of documents, so it's important that you be able to include maths in them. So I've made up a document here and I've put an equation into it, but I've just written it by treating it as though it was a typewriter. I'm just typing the characters E equals mc squared, and then I used the footnote superscript option there to erase that. So all those letters there behave just like characters, as though they were part of the ordinary text. That might be one way to get started, but it's not a good way to get on. As soon as you try to do more complicated maths, you're going to get into trouble that way. So what we're going to do instead, I'm going to take that equation and show you how we should set it properly. So I'm putting the cursor just before it, and now I'm going up to the Insert tab, and over on the right where it says Equation, I'm going to click on Equation. I don't need to pull down the menu, just click. And now this opens this box here, and if I click in that box I can start typing my equation there. And if I type E equals M, notice that it's used a different font, it's used an italicized font, and if we have a look at a textbook with some maths in, that's standard for setting equations. Now notice there's all sorts here. There's italicized variables, they've got subscripts and superscripts, we've got fractions, we've got vectors, we've got Greek letters, so we need to be able to express all of these things. So I've got the M, and now I want to do C squared, and if I look up on the menu we can see we've got a new tab called the Design tab under Equation Tools. That only opens when you're in the equation editor. And looking along it from left to right, I've got some tools here. I've got a large selection of symbols that I can use in my equations, and then I've got the structures on the right. And among the structures I'm going to pick script because I want a superscript, and I can see from that box there that that's the one for a superscript. So if I click on that, I've now got two dotted boxes for the thing and its superscript. I'm going to use the back arrows to go back, and when I'm in the box it turns grey to highlight it. So I'm going to put a C there, I'm going to press the forward arrow to move on, and then I'm C squared there. Another right arrow takes me back out and to the end of the equation, and another right arrow takes me back into the regular document. So I can now highlight the equation that I had before and press the backspace to delete it. So now I've got the comma directly after the edited equation, but the comma isn't inside the equation. And I can do the same with the variable names here because it's important to be consistent. Even if it's just a single letter, use the same method. So again, insert, equation, E, right arrow, and then I can delete the one before, and the same, insert, equation, M, get rid of the old one, and then I'm going to use control forward arrow to go forward a word at a time, and then last time, insert, equation, C, and get rid of the old one. And notice now that because I've got my grammar checker underlined, it's switched on, it's underlined that because it's a bit surprised to see that the grammar checker doesn't really know how to cope with equations, but that doesn't matter. It gives us the flexibility that we need. And if I go back inside the equation editor to switch on the Equation Tools Design tab and click on that, we can see that we can do fractions this way, we can do all sorts of scripts, we can do roots, we can do integrals, we can do other large operators like summations. We've got various kinds of what it calls brackets. We can write certain kinds of functions. I'll be going through all of these in future videos. We can put accents on characters, we can do clever things with limits, we've got a selection of operators, and we can put arrays and matrices and vectors together like that. But that's enough to get us started. In the rest of the videos I'll go on to explain the power of the equation editor and give you some tips on how to make your job of making equations easier.